You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome once again, everyone, to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show, and that's brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do that overlay here on NBL Live, a ton of other graphics across the NBL network, and they are super affordable. So if you have graphics needed for an affordable price, head over to Web3KS.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man Bomber, and we're continuing playoff week here in the NBL Season 25, our last one in Madden 17 with divisional round action on the NFC side. It is the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, two NFC East teams looking to get into the NFC Championship game. Now, before we get to the game at hand, Bomber, we got to continue on with this NBL Top 25. We're going to be announcing numbers 20 through 16. This is a fun time. It's the end of the season. It's a really great time to look back at all the great players we have.
Absolutely. I actually took a little sneak peek, I can't lie, at the list and what we got. We got that email last night. We got everybody listed top to bottom, and we got some really good players, man. You're going to want to see a couple snubs I'm already got in my head that I'll bring up after the list is already presented. But, man, just a really great group of guys. Big shout-out to Kyle and that team. He had a little team underground team. I don't even know who it was.
I got no clue. They didn't tell me.
So
they didn't tell me anything.
It was a five-man team. This probably explains why there's no Panthers on there.
That makes so much sense.
It's a five-man team.
It's a Panthers bias! I'm calling you out, Kyle!
There's a five-man team. They did a great job with the stats. A whole lot of honorable mentions. I actually want to get him on to talk about the list of the players that were, considered that didn't make it after the list is already out, after we get through this.
Yeah, we'll have to bring him on during the Super Bowl. Yeah, bring him on during the Super Bowl. Talk to Kyle. Now, without further ado, let's get to that list. Looking at the NBL Top 25 players of the 2017 Madden cycle. This will be starting at number 20. We revealed the first ones in our last broadcast. So at number 20, we have somebody from the Detroit Lions. It's Miles Killebrew, safety, at number 20 of the Madden 17 rankings. And we have, Bomber, you're very familiar with this guy being the owner of the Detroit Lions. Killebrew, what a cycle. He had 27 interceptions. He won a Super Bowl in Season 21. He's still looking for that Super Bowl here in Season 25. Bomber, talk a little bit about Killebrew, who's really been one of the anchors of your Detroit Lions defense.
Yeah, Miles is a great on-the-field, off-the-field leader for our team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He was the anchor of our secondary. He helped us a lot against run protection as well as pass protection, and he can blitz. He's big. He's 6'2". He did it all. He was a leader on the field. Actually, I'm surprised he's in the top 25 as far as you just don't see him be talked about as much throughout the league. So I know these guys did a good job checking into those numbers because he truly has been a stat stuffer on our defensive side of the ball, but he just didn't get the credit throughout the cycle that I thought he would have, but he is definitely deserving. So at 20, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty surprised with Killebrew, but I mean, check his stats, man. Killebrew did a great job for Detroit, and he's been a leader, and he's been here from the beginning.
At number 19, we have Carlos Dunlap from the Cincinnati Bengals coming in the top 20. Dunlap, defensive end, and this dude was a monster on the defensive side of the ball for the Cincinnati Bengals, playing in that very difficult AFC North, lots of high-powered offenses. Dunlap with the Dolphins and the Bengals, 64 total sacks. This is a guy the Bengals were really happy to pick up in free agency, and he helped this Bengals team really reach new levels defensively, considering they have to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a year.
64 sacks this cycle for Carlos Dunlap. Yeah, and that's a guy that put pressure on Big Ben. He put pressure on Dak Prescott. He ended up going to Miami, as most veterans do towards the end of his career. I believe he played for the Dolphins as well. Yes, he did. This guy was a sack machine. Big shout out to him. Carlos Dunlap 100% deserves to be on this list. Number 19 is fitting, if not even higher.
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap, definitely an anchor of the defenses that he played for. One of the other things I wanted to mention about Miles Killebrew, always seemed like Killebrew played well on NBL Live. He has a couple NBL Live Player of the Games under his belt. Seemed like he was a big stage player. Let's go to number 18 on our list. And again, if you want to check out the first 5, check out our broadcast from last night, the wild card game at number 18, and this is a name that everybody knows, Ladarius Purnell, the running back for the New York Giants. And this guy, ever since he was drafted by the Giants, he has been a stud. He was a second-round pick in season 22. He has over 4,000 yards rushing in just, at this point, 3 seasons, essentially, 4 seasons, and 39 touchdowns. Purnell, he was the engine of this New York Giants team, and this was a Giants team that really didn't find a whole lot of success until Ladarius Purnell got there.
Yeah, a couple playoff appearances for Ladarius Purnell. I know management's really excited and was really happy when they drafted him. They got him in the second round, early in the second round, season 22. Many were wondering, hey, the guy's got a lot of speed, but will it really count for productivity? It absolutely did. So big shout out to ownership there for taking a chance with Ladarius Purnell. It really paid off. I really like this guy at halfback.
Yeah, and Purnell, the other thing that he did a great job of doing, especially in New York, is when you have a weapon like Odell Beckham Jr., you're going to want to try to get the ball to him through the air. And Purnell kept defenses on their heels in that NFC East and was able to get into the playoffs a couple times and really be a stalwart at the running back position for the New York Giants. At number 17, it's big number 15, Allen Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've seen the Jaguars on NBL Live the last couple episodes coming back from injury, and we saw the sort of impact he had. Unfortunately, he went down in that injury in that wild card game, but over 6,500 yards and 50 touchdowns. The Jacksonville Jaguars with Allen Robinson really became an offense to be reckoned with in the AFC.
Allen Robinson, I think a little bit low for him. I think 17's. I think he should be higher. I think
we'll see the rest of the list. You don't know who's ahead of him.
Yeah, I just feel like he was a top 2, top 3 wide receiver this cycle. I think winning played a factor into why he wasn't there. They only have 1 division title this cycle. A couple playoff wins, I believe. 1 playoff win, maybe. So, maybe that's what it attributed to that. But on the field, man, this guy was a guy I know from being in the NFC. I would look at the AFC and say, man, that guy's a headache. I hope he stays over there.
Yeah, Allen Robinson, again, this season, tough battle with injuries, came back at the right time, then went down in that wild card game, and you could see how valuable he was to the Jaguars, because once Robinson went down, the Jaguars sort of fell apart and couldn't come away with a win. The last one we're going to reveal today at number 16, it is Zebedee Taylor, the tackle. We're going to move into the trenches now. We got one of the big hosses at number 61 on the Atlanta Falcons. And this guy, well, he was a 6-time Pro Bowler. He was the first-round pick in season 20. And this was a guy who really anchored an Atlanta Falcons team that went on to win a Super Bowl under former owner One and Only.
Yeah, he got a Super Bowl under his belt and arguably the best offensive lineman in the Madden Bomber League. I don't see many ahead of him. They were able to keep him throughout this cycle, all on the Atlanta Falcons. They paid him. He's a top O-lineman. He's up there with some of Dallas's guys. I think maybe 1, 2 come to my mind. I don't want to spoil it yet that I think should be above him. But he was I'm glad to see offensive linemen making this list, and he was definitely an impact player for that run game with Devontae Freeman, with the pass game, Matt Ryan to Julio Jones early when they won their Super Bowl. I mean, he did some phenomenal things for this offensive line.
Yeah, and the big part about him is not only that, he was able to protect Blake Bortles, and Bortles, not talent-wise, not one of the top quarterbacks, but with Zebedee Taylor on the line, Bortles was able to get one of those Super Bowl titles, and that's going to be all we got for the NBL Top 25. We're revealing that list throughout the playoffs, so check us out tomorrow night. We're going to have that doubleheader, AFC and NFC championship game. It should be. It's always a fun show, Bomber. It's a lot of action. It's a lot of game at one time, and we're going to be releasing 10 more of this NBL Top 25 during those 2 games. It's a broadcast you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. What time are we starting that game tomorrow? What are we doing, 7 p.m.?
I think we're doing 8:30 is probably going to be it. We got to confirm it with the actual teams, but we'll probably start that doubleheader off a little earlier at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
So we're going to go 7 p.m. Eastern time for the first game, probably 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for the second game. It'll be the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, or vice versa. And then we'll take a day off, I believe, and today is Wednesday, correct?
Yes, so Friday night there will be no game. We're going to spend one day getting that Super Bowl show together, and this is one of our biggest shows of the year. And Bomber, it's got to be a little bigger because this is our last one of the Madden 17 cycle.
Yeah, quarter of a century, Super Bowl 25. It's going to be a great time always. It's going to be Saturday night. We're not sure on the time frame just yet, and then Sunday we're going to have the NBL team selection.
Yes, so, that is official, Sunday night.
Followed up by the most anticipated annual show of the year. And then we're starting our new EA Access NBL tournament that starts August 17th, which is our first one. We're going to be doing that annually as well. So this time frame, circle your calendars, August hashtag NBL owns August. That's what we want to say. We're going to have our final Super Bowl of the cycle. We're going to have a team selection, and we're going to have an EA Access tournament every year moving forward. That's a big time for NBL.
Yeah, now let's get to one of the scores from the playoff games in this round, the divisional round, and this was a barn burner. The Pittsburgh Steelers, owner Lip, continues doing what the Pittsburgh Steelers do and owning the playoffs, coming out with a 31-28 victory over the Oakland Raiders. But this is a very interesting game to look at, Bomber, because you look at a guy, Dak Prescott did not have a great game, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but the Pittsburgh Steelers still able to come away with a victory.
Yeah, what you're seeing on the screen is actually flipped. The Pittsburgh
pay no
Steelers
attention
actually
to those
have
logos.
The logos need to be flipped. The home team, away team is correct, but the logos need to be flipped. Dak Prescott, obviously on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Martavis Bryant still getting it done. But this game was actually 28-14 at one point. And I'm watching, I'm thinking, it's going to get bad for Oakland. I felt it was going to pull away, but Oakland was resilient, and they came back, ended up tying that game 28-28, and the late field goal for Pittsburgh, a final seconds field goal, ended up winning the game. So that game went down to the wire. That would have been a great game to have on NBL Live.
And now we get to talk about the game that we actually do have on NBL Live. It's NFC action between the Redskins and the Cowboys. These teams looking to face off against your Detroit Lions, who came out with a big 29-7 victory over your division rival, the Chicago Bears. And Bomber, these are two teams that have seen each other this year. They're division rivals. The Washington Redskins had some trouble with the Dallas Cowboys this year. Cowboys came out with a victory in their Week 1 matchup, and then these two teams ended up actually tying in their second matchup. So who do you like in this game? You've seen the Washington Redskins. They've really been a tough team at times, but they sort of faltered near the end of the year. And this Dallas Cowboys team, I think, maybe getting overlooked as we head into the playoffs.
Yeah, for the first time in this cycle, I can actually look at the Dallas Cowboys and say, maybe a little underrated right now. Everyone's talking about Washington Redskins because they won NBL Season 24 Super Bowl. So that's what happens when you start your come up in the same division with the reigning Super Bowl champion. You tend to get overlooked, but not today. The Cowboys are confident. They believe that this is their opportunity to win, and they're at home, and they're feeling that they can take down Washington. As you said, they beat them once earlier. They tied. They felt they should have won that game and season swept this team. So we're going to really see if that playoff pedigree of Washington comes into play here, or if Dallas can really just change the tide and take this win.
All right, we're about ready to send it to Dallas. Bomber, give me your prediction. Who do you like in this game? Are the Washington Redskins going to continue their defense of their Season 24 Super Bowl title en route to a rematch with the Detroit Lions, or the Dallas Cowboys gonna make a statement and say that we're still here and we still want a Super Bowl title and get a big win today at home?
It would be foolish to go against the Super Bowl champions from Season 24, the Washington Redskins, who so dominantly won that last season. So I'm going to have to go with Washington. I'm going to go Washington.
I thought you were going to throw a swerve there. You're going to be like, it's foolish, and I'm a fool.
I usually do,
sure.
But I didn't want to call once I use the word foolish, I decided I better stay with it. I don't want to be a fool here at the end of the day. So I'm going Washington 24, Dallas 17. It could be 24-20, 24-17. I see it going that way.
Close game.
I just think the defense of Washington is going to be a really close game towards the end. And I think that the defense of Washington comes up with a big play. They always seem to do that, and I think they do it again.
Close game anticipated today on the NFC side. Get your predictions in the chat. We'll be looking at those throughout the first quarter. But let's get this divisional round matchup going. Coming up next, it's a battle to see who gets to face off against the juggernaut Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. It's the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, and it's coming up right now here on NBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Craig Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network. And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks, who catches it, makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. NBL playoffs continued tonight. We got NFC Divisional round matchup between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Two teams looking to get the right to face off against the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Bomber. Bomber, you said in the pregame you like the Washington Redskins in this game. For the Dallas Cowboys, who is a bigger key for them in order to get a victory? Is it Kevin Womack or is it Ezekiel Elliott?
Oh, that's a tough question. This is a game that's going to be a lot of ground and pound. Both teams have rushing touchdowns that are arguably top 2, top 3 in the league right now. I think Dallas has a little bit more than Washington. Washington currently at about 17, Dallas over 24. So I think Zeke Elliott's the most important. If they can establish that run game, I think Womack can kind of, ride the coattails of the run game and make himself just look a little bit better and make this passing attack that has been somewhat average look somewhat good. And I think that could be the difference of the game. And
the Washington Redskins have a rushing attack on their own behind Keith Marshall, and he's going to get the ball here on first down. A nice tackle made on the interior, bringing him down for only a 1-yard gain. Bomber, these teams very similar in the sense of they're both the top 5 rushing team, and they're both down sort of in that middle area, a little lower in the passing attack. They're both really, their engine is their running game.
Absolutely. Also, we forgot to mention it. Both of these defenses, Dallas is the second best rushing defense in the league, and the Redskins are the 6th. So that also plays a factor in here. The strengths of these defenses are actually the strengths of the offenses that they're playing.
Winston dropping back to pass here on 2nd and 9, looking. He has all the time in the world, rolls out to the right side. He has nobody open. He's looking. He's going to toss it down the right side. It's intercepted. The Dallas Cowboys one-handed get the interception. Bind him, seeing where Jameis Winston was throwing it. Wow, he is going for the Sports Center highlight, and the Dallas Cowboys a big turnover early.
The ESPN music must be playing right now. What an interception.
It would be if we had the rights to him. If we had the rights to the music, we'd play it.
Yeah, if we played that music, we want to see a dime from this game. So, guys, what an interception to start this game off early. Dallas's defense making some plays is what seemed to be 10, 15 yards in front of Winston. He could have took off running.
And we'll see how that affects young Jameis Winston. I guess he's not young anymore. He's a veteran at this point, but we'll see how that affects him. First pass of the game intercepted by the Dallas Cowboys, and on first down, Ezekiel Elliott only getting a yard on that one. Zeke Elliott still in Dallas with Kevin Womack at the quarterback position. Is a very talented offense. We have seen Kevin Womack succeed in the past, but the passing attack has not been great for the Cowboys. 2nd and 9, he's going to toss this underneath. It is complete. It looks like they're going to have close to the first down up to the 45-yard line. I think they're going to give it to him. They are. It's a first down. Another one of those passes underneath. Hooper, he is a big target for the Dallas Cowboys, and he showed why as he fights forward for a first down.
Austin Hooper, absolutely love him at tight end. Only 1 touchdown this year. He's only had 3 the last 2 seasons as well. Not big touchdown guy, but definitely a short distance player at tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. 6'4", 248 pounds, and he's got the ability to use his legs to get open.
I formation, 1st and 10. It's going to be hand off to Ezekiel Elliott, trying to find room over the right side. Shakes off one tackler, but can't shake off the second one. But look at that, Bomber. That's what's so impressive about Ezekiel Elliott. He shakes off one tackler. He then gets tackled immediately, and he still gets 3 yards out of the run.
Yeah, when you can turn nothing into 3 yards, that's a big advantage. But both of these teams have this. Keith Marshall, is very similar. This offensive line provides him a lot of holes. So we're going to see how this shapes up in the running attack for both teams.
Womack throws it over the middle again to Hooper, who catches it right near the sticks at the 35-yard line. They're going to give him the first down once again, and Washington looked completely set up to stop that pass. The middle linebacker, I don't know if he took his eye off the ball or something, but he had an opportunity to make a play on that ball, and Hooper just cut right in front of him.
And also about Jameis Winston, this is his first playoff game of this Madden cycle. So since season 19, this is the first time he's been in the playoffs. He gets to the divisional round right now, his second playoff game, and he throws a pick on the big stage on NBL Live on his first throw. Let's see if he adapts.
Handoff up the middle to Ezekiel Elliott. This Washington rushing defense, as mentioned, the number 7 defense, the number 6 rushing defense in the NBL stops him. But once again, Zeke Elliott continues to drive the legs forward and is able to get 3 yards out of that one. Even though Dallas had some great penetration early on that run play, but Zeke Elliott, he's just a horse to bring it down, and that's why the Dallas Cowboys love using him. It's going to be Kevin Womack coming out I formation. Ezekiel Elliott at the top of that I. 2 wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd and 7. Womack dropping back to pass. Toss it underneath once again. It is complete. This time, Washington Redskins able to bring him down for only a 1-yard gain. That was Chapman with the catch. And you think that Washington's going to start to key in on this one as the Dallas Cowboys have not yet started to push the ball downfield.
Yeah, a lot of underneath throws. It seems like they're getting more vertical on their running attack. But the Washington defense is stout, and they look dominant right now. A big shout-out Ezekiel Elliott, 27 years old right now, still getting it done for Dallas. It just seems like that guy just really never ages, especially throughout this entire cycle.
3rd and 6 now. Shotgun formation for Kevin Womack and the Dallas Cowboys. 3 wide receivers out there. Womack dropping back to pass here on 3rd down. He looks over the middle of the field, and he completes it. Takes a big hit at the 10-yard line. But Kevin Womack and the Dallas Cowboys convert another 1st down, and that's another one of their talented wide receivers. Frost coming up with a catch right at the 10-yard line. They're going to have a 1st and 10, not quite 1st and goal. You can see that yellow line, a 1st down is possible at about the half-yard line. Womack in the shotgun again, dropping back to passing on 1st and 10. He tosses this again over the middle. It is complete down to the 3-yard line. Again, another one of those tendencies you're noticing here. Dallas very content to throw a lot of these crossing and drag routes right over the middle.
Yeah, Rennell Frost, let's talk about him a little bit. Rookie, University of Auburn, 6'5", 224 pounds, only 5 touchdowns receiving, but 52 catches, over 850 yards this year. This is their big target. This was their top 10 pick in this rookie draft, and he's been playing phenomenal for Cowboys down the stretch.
Zeke Elliott gets the ball on the 3-yard line, and Zeke Elliott finds pay dirt. He gets a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys, who convert that interception into points. 6-0 Dallas awaiting this extra point. The ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Dallas an early 7-0 lead, getting points off turnovers. And Bomber, when you're inside the 5-yard line, you know the Zeke Elliott train is coming head on.
Yeah, too easy. Inside the 5, Cowboys are tough to stop. Even a defense as stout as the Washington Redskins will struggle against the Cowboys in that situation. As you saw right there, Zeke just walks in. I mean, he just glides into the end zone. They put up 7, and now they got an early lead, and they get the ball back at half.
7-0 Dallas on top. Washington looking to recover after on the 2nd play of the game. Jameis Winston threw an interception. And in fairness, it was a great play on the defensive side of the ball, but an interception nonetheless. 1st and 10. Jameis Winston under center. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Keith Marshall in the backfield has been dropping back to pass here on 1st down. Looks over to the left side. He finds Bryant Dingle. Flag down on the play, and it's going to be a 15-yard face mask on that tackle. So tack on another 15, and Washington's already at midfield.
Yeah, that's penalties. If you're getting these kind of penalties and you're not showing discipline in the playoffs, it comes back to bite you. This is a big stand for Dallas right now. They're up 7. They need to try to get a stop and get them off the field and just get rid of those careless penalties. 1st and
10. Jameis Winston dropping back to pass. Blitz coming, tossing it underneath to Jansen, who catches it right around the 45-yard line. A generous spot there. Giving him a full 5 yards. I don't know about that one, but Washington getting some, I guess, road team cooking on that play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, usually it's home team cooking, but right now the road teams definitely get it. A penalty and then an underneath throw. They fight forward for a little bit. They end up spotting them 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for Washington.
Keith Marshall trying to find something outside, and the Dallas Cowboys defense bring him down for a loss on the play. He's going to lose 2 yards on that one. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. For the Washington Redskins, looking to not give the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys would be the big one. Answer that touchdown. 3rd and 7. 4 wide receivers for Jameis Winston. Dropping back to pass here on 3rd down. He looks over to the right side. It is Jansen wide open on the out, and he has the 1st down up to the 35-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that play, and a nice play call there from the Washington offensive coordinator.
That's a Washington Redskins special right there, that deep fork route on 3rd and short. They like it between 3rd and 4, 3rd and 7. A guy goes in motion and hits the flat, and it really just confuses the cornerback right there in that cover 2.
Josh Doxson coming in motion here on 1st and 10 over to the right side of that formation. They're going to hand it off to Keith Marshall, going the way that Doxson was. He has one man to beat, and he can't get past him. He is wrapped up for no gain, maybe losing a half yard there. Keith Marshall not gotten going in this game, having trouble making men miss. And in fairness to Keith Marshall, the blocking has not been good early. 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation. Jameis Winston going to be dropping back to pass here. He looks out to the left side. He finds Keith Marshall, still getting him touches, this time in the passing game. Give him 5 yards on that one. Brings up a 3rd and 4.
Washington Redskins offense is starting to find a little rhythm here. You're seeing Jameis Winston get a little bit more comfortable in the pocket as there. He took his time, showed some patience, used the crossing route and determined he wanted to go underneath to his halfback Keith Marshall. But I'm liking what I'm seeing early from this Washington Redskins offense.
3rd and 4. Winston dropping back to pass, looks over to the right side. It is completed. Jordan Reed, and I believe he has the 1st down at the 25-yard line. He does indeed. And Bomber, as you were saying, Jameis Winston getting in a little bit of rhythm right now after throwing that early interception. And as the great Gloria Estefan said, eventually the rhythm's going to get you.
Absolutely. So
got the Gloria Estefan reference.
Washington Redskins right now, 3rd and shorts, 3rd and intermediates. You see them going to the flat. Let's see if the Cowboys adjust.
Keith Marshall finally finding something on the ground. He's going to get 4 yards up to the 21-yard line. That's going to take us through a very quick first quarter. Your score, Dallas Cowboys with an early 7-0 lead over the Washington Redskins. Washington driving, though, and Bomber, we'll see if that interception, these are two teams that don't turn over the ball a lot. We'll see if that one interception could be the key in this game, and it's going to be Jameis Winston coming out, full wide receivers, 3 over to the right, 1 to the left. Keith Marshall in the backfield, 2nd and 7. It's going to be a handoff to Marshall right up the middle, and he has the first down, takes a big hit at the 14-yard line, but he gets the first down nonetheless, and maybe you're seeing Keith Marshall getting into a little bit of rhythm as he had a huge hole in the left side.
What a big hit from Dallas's defense. I guess the defense is back in Dallas. They're laying the hit early. They're making plays all over the field. Let's see if they can stop them in the red zone and hold this Redskins offense to just 3.
I formation for Jameis Winston and the Washington Redskins. Keith Marshall at the top of that I, 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Marshall, and Dallas gets back in the backfield, and he's going to bring down Keith Marshall for a 2-yard loss. And Bomber, what's going on here? Is this just the Dallas Cowboys front 7 outplaying the offensive line of the Washington Redskins?
They're just uber athletic. They're super talented on the defensive side of the ball, and we're seeing it right now. They're fast, and they can get to them holes, they get to the spots, and force the offense back inside, and that's what's hurting Washington right now running the ball.
He finds Josh Doctson on the left side of that formation, and a little late. Wasn't a great throw, but he's going to get 3 yards out of that one. Going to bring it back to a 3rd and 9, and but that's one of those plays I don't really like to see in the red zone. It's really only 2 types of routes, and if the Dallas Cowboys call the right defense, both of them are truly covered. 3rd and 9, shotgun formation. Jameis Winston's got 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Winston dropping back to pass here on 3rd down, stepping up into the pocket. He looks over, he finds Jones, and Matt Jones, the backup running back, catches it, and he's into the end zone for a big answer on 3rd down from the Washington Redskins. As the extra point is down, the kick is up, and it is good, and Washington has tied this game up. Matt Jones, welcome to the NFC Divisional round.
First receiving touchdown of the season for NBL Season 25 for Matt Jones. What we saw on that drive was a lot of flat routes. We only saw 1 catch from Josh Doctson, their leading wide receiver. We saw a lot of catches out the backfield to their halfback. So they're adjusting to this Cowboys fast defense, and they're using that quickness against them by going underneath to their halfback.
And now Dallas coming off a big touchdown off the interception of Jameis Winston, looking to continue that success as Kevin Womack is going to run a play action roll out to the right side. He has a man wide open. It is complete to Hooper on the right side of that formation. He's down to the 38-yard line. Womack 6 of 6, only 59 yards. They're sticking with those underneath throws early. But the Dallas Cowboys, they have a favorite target, and it is, of course, Austin Hooper.
It's got to be. The tight end has been so reliable for this team this season. Not a big touchdown guy because they go to Ezekiel Elliott once they get in the end zone. They like Rennell Frost. And here goes a little bit of Zeke on the outside. He's
big hit!
And he gets hit. Wow, what a hit by Washington.
Riddle with the big hit, stopping Ezekiel Elliott after a 9-yard gain. And those are the gains that Ezekiel Elliott loves to get. He gets yardage in chunks and in bunches. This Washington rushing defense is no slouch, but they got a tough task on hand. Again, the Dallas Cowboys won their first meeting of the season. They tied in their second one, so these two teams know each other and know their tendencies. 2nd and 1, it's going to be a handoff to Zeke Elliott right up the middle, and this time the Washington defense stands tall and brings them down for a loss of 1. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 2. Bomber, if you're Washington, are you looking for the run once again, or are you looking for Dallas to air it out?
I feel like they're going to be looking for the run, but I think Dallas might get a little tricky here and try a little play action and try to take a shot down the field here when they got him on this 3rd and short.
3rd and 2, Womack in the shotgun. He's got Zeke Elliott and Mobley in the backfield. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. As the man on the right side of that formation is going to slide out. I believe that's Chapman on the right side. Slides out wide. 3rd and 2. It's going to be a pass here. Looking into the flat. And he got the feet inbounds, and it is a 1st down. Boy, that was a tight throw there, and nobody covered the flat route from Chapman. You got to think you got to put a man on that guy, as he is one of their top wide receivers.
Yeah, 3rd and short, you got to cover the flat, especially in Tampa, too. They didn't want to give up the flood concept in the corner route, so they stayed home and gave up the 1st down.
And a little quick slant on 1st and 10. 8 of 8, 81 yards for Kevin Womack. This Washington defense, they are a very good defense. Number 7 scoring defense in the NBL, but you got to think at some point you got to key on these underneath throws. Dallas is not pushing the ball downfield. Kevin Womack's going to come out. He's under center. He's got 2 wide receivers. He's got Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. 1st and 10. Play action pass, and Womack is going to look to the flat. Well, that one wasn't even close. And probably lucky that wasn't close because it was well covered.
Yeah, maybe a throwaway right there by Kevin Womack, the young quarterback, finally starting to get it. Everybody's covered. Let's just throw the ball away, live to play, another play, and it'll be 2nd down for Dallas.
It's a second down, shotgun formation for Womack and the Cowboys. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Womack. 2nd and 10. He's going to toss it out to the flat again to Austin Hooper, who takes a big hit from B.J. Sams. But it's another first down for the Dallas Cowboys in this Washington defense. How many times do you have to get hit over the head that Dallas is tossing this one underneath?
Yeah, it seems like the flat attack has been heavy for both teams so far. Maybe that's a little bit of the kryptonite. Both of these defenses are very good, very quick, and very athletic. Maybe hitting them really early in the passing game is a big deal for both of these teams.
Nice tackle there by Vernon, bringing him down at the 19-yard line. No gain for Ezekiel Elliott. Olivier Vernon, such a big part of this Washington defensive line. Thanks again to everybody joining us here on NBL Live. Broadcast number 116. I'm always
17.
17. Yeah, 16 was yesterday. I'm still on yesterday's game. We got these games back to back
today.
Look, settle down over there, okay? You settle down. 2nd and 10. Womack dropping back fast. Looks over the middle of the field. It is complete once again on a little crossing route. They're going to get a couple out of this one up to the 13-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 as we fit the 2-minute warning.
Washington Redskins defense, though, the hits they're laying on Dallas, that might help them in this second half. They're slowly wearing them down with these big hits on the ball. You know, potentially that could increase the opportunity for a fumble in the second half and make a big play, and that's what this Washington Redskins defense lives on.
Big 3rd and 4 here for the Washington Redskins defense, looking to get a stop. Womack in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. He's got Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield here on 3rd down at the 2-minute warning. To be Womack dropping back to pass. He looks into the flat for Ezekiel Elliott. It's complete, and it's another first down for the Dallas Cowboys. Man, oh man, this flat attack is going hard for the Dallas Cowboys.
You're in cover 3 hard flat. I have a problem with the cornerback, or the linebacker. It looks like the nickel corner on that side. How can you give that up? You have to make a play. If you can't make a play on the ball, make a play on the body. Do something to disrupt that catch. He whiffs on the pass and gives up the first down. They called the perfect call. Defensive coordinator not at fault there. That's completely on the player.
1st and goal. It's going to be Zeke Elliott getting the ball. Of course it is. He almost gets into the end zone. He's going to be down just past the 1-yard line. Give him 4 yards on that one. Washington's going to use a timeout here. Try to get the ball back. 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line. You got to think at this point, Bomber, it's the Ezekiel Elliott show.
Absolutely. The wheels on the bus, I say it all the time, go ground and pound, especially for Dallas when they're within the 5, and expect more of it here. You can tell by their wide receiver production and touchdowns. This is where they run the ball and they pound it in with their halfback.
And it's actually this time it's going to be Kevin Womack taking it himself, padding his own stats as Womack gets in with a 1-yard rush. And Dallas is going to extend the lead to 13-7, looking to stay on top here. As we assume that we're waiting the extra point. It would surprise me if they went for 2 here.
Minute 28 left in the second. Dallas actually gets the ball back to start the 3rd as well. So this is going to be, a situation in which Washington has to really ask themselves, do we want to aggressively push the ball down the field and tie this game up? Or do we want to play a little conservatively and be smart about this and not risk a turnover that could essentially put us down 2-3 scores in the middle of the 3rd quarter?
But you got to think that Washington needs to get some points out of this one. If they're going to give the ball back to Dallas, and the Washington defense, while they have been good all year, has yet to stop the Dallas defense from doing really anything. Dallas has moved at will down the field, and now Washington, 1:25 to go. They do have 2 timeouts. No need to keep it to the outside. No need to even just keep it in the air. They can certainly run the ball here with the score at 14-7 and 1.25 to go. Here in the 2nd quarter, it's Winston, 5 wide receivers. It looks like they're setting up a wide receiver screen over to the left side. It is Jansen with the ball. He has 1 man to beat, and he spins out of bounds at the 26-yard line. He's going to get 4 yards on that play, but it looks like he had the man beat, and just those mental mistakes getting in play for the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, when you got 1 man to beat, and you beat that man, and it only allows you to pick up 1 extra yard, I got an issue with what you did to beat that man. That spin move unnecessary. Want to move it up the field.
2nd and 6. Winston thrown out to the right side. It's to Pitts. He makes a man miss. He's to the 40. He's got 1 man to beat. Stop and go. But that lets the other guy catch up to him. No, he's going to get out of bounds at the 28-yard line. But a big route there, and the Washington Redskins have moved into field goal territory and in a hurry.
He put on that E-brake. Maybe should have just pumped the brakes just a little bit. Decided to go with the E-brake.
Yeah, he went with a full brake press. This was no tapping of the brake. 1st and 10 for the Washington Redskins. Shotgun formation for Jameis Winston. 3 wide receivers once again. Jansen coming in motion. It's going to be Winston dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. And he looks underneath to Jansen, who has down to the 21-yard line. Nice job there by Jameis Winston, not forcing it downfield. Gets 6 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 4.
This is huge. If Dallas can actually score a touchdown here, Washington, and tie this game up, then we're going into the second half, and it's essentially 0-0. Dallas gets the ball, and we got a whole new ball game.
14-7, Dallas on top as we're under a minute to play here in the first half. Jameis Winston's going to come out. 4 wide receivers, 3 over to the right, 1 to the left. Look out for Jordan Reed, the big tight end on the right side of that formation. He is a big part of this offense. On 2nd and 4, they actually hand the ball off to Keith Marshall. Bounces off. His own lineman gets a big gain up to the 12-yard line. 9 yards on that one, and Marshall doing a nice job of not getting caught up in the backfield and getting a big chunk of yards. Keep that clock moving so they don't give the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys.
A lot of positive runs Washington has come against teams that are trying to run zone and pull defensive linemen off the line into coverage. And it just looks like Marshall always finds his way to run right up their back.
Clock running. We're down at 20 seconds to go here in the first half. 1st and 10. Ball is out. It's on the ground. And it's recovered by the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
They ran that slow developing counter run play. And the Dallas Cowboys got penetrated. Were able to mess up the exchange. And another turnover for a usually sure-handed Washington Redskins team.
This usually happens on the other side. This usually goes the other way. Washington's the team making these plays. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys are the kryptonite to the back-to-back for this Dallas Cowboys.
They've set up a swing pass for Ezekiel Elliott. He's got good blocking. He's at the 50. Oh, and what a nice tackle made there at the 45-yard line, keeping Ezekiel Elliott from taking it to the house. A big game for the Dallas Cowboys. Bomber, what's the thinking for the Washington Redskins there, running a slow-developing run play against the number 2 rushing defense in the NBL?
When you trust your offensive line, you do some crazy things, but a game-scoring saving tackle for Quentin Riddle, number 30 safety for the Redskins, as another pass to Ezekiel Elliott, and he falls forward. But what a tackle there by Quentin Riddle. 4-year player, Delaware State, 6'2", 225-pound safety. That free safety might have saved the game for the Washington Redskins.
Now Dallas is going to attempt now a 52-yard field goal to end the half. 1 second to go. Looking to go up by 10 as they get the ball to start the second half. The ball is down. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good. And Dallas is going to go into halftime up 17-7 and getting the ball. Bomber, you're in the Washington Redskins locker room. What are you saying at halftime to get your team going?
You know, I'm saying, hey, man, we're the Super Bowl champions. You got to overcome. You got to have adversity and defeat, situations that might not go in your favor early. It's only 10 points. It's 1 or 2 big plays, and we're right back in this game. So I wouldn't be too down and out just yet. In the chat right there, Nick says counter plays and misdirections are cruel mistresses. I completely agree. That's a big play getter or a opportunity for a big fail, and that's what happened to Washington when they tried to run the counter. And here comes Zeke Elliott again, just so much space, so much explosion, and such a great blocking offensive line.
Well, and Bobby, you got to think with 17 seconds to go, Dallas is getting the ball, running a counter play that is so slow developing. It's not a lot of reward for the risk you are taking because you know how good the defense is of the Dallas Cowboys. It's a nice job by the Washington Redskins bringing down Ezekiel Elliott right at the line of scrimmage. And now an opportunity once again for the Dallas Cowboys to convert another 3rd and 4. This is a team that loves to use the flats, and Washington's got to know that going into this 3rd down situation.
Yeah, expect maybe a flood concept here from the Dallas Cowboys. They've set them up nicely, going to the flat. They hard flat them, run a little flood to that same side of the field, and they could have a big gain right here on 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 for the Cowboys. Womack in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers over to the right, 1 to the left. Ball on the 31-yard line. It's a play-action pass for Womack. Looking. He's rolling out to the left side. He's taking a shot down the field. And a nice job by the Washington Redskins laying a hit on, looked like that was Frost going up for that one. And the Washington Redskins defense finally getting a stop on the Dallas Cowboys on 3rd and 4. Great coverage. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to punt. Bomber, did you notice, I don't know if you saw this, but on that play, they had a post route running downfield, and he was all kinds of open in front of the deep safety.
I still don't like the play calling. They ran a hard flat against them. If they would have flooded that side of the field, they would have had a wide open man. They decided to get a little tricky, try to look for down the field stuff, but what about the time in the pocket that Dallas is actually having right now? This offensive line is providing all kinds of time for the Dallas Cowboys, and even though they incompleted that last pass, it's just not what you're used to seeing with the Washington Redskins. They usually can get pressure to the quarterback.
1st and 10 I formation for Jameis Winston and the Washington Redskins. Looks like they're setting up a little screen pass. And boy, this one is well covered, but Marshall managed to break a tackle and get back to the 29-yard line. He's still going to lose 3 on that play, and that's another play where Jameis Winston, who again, first time in the playoffs for him in this cycle, needs to be smarter and not throw the ball to the screen man.
Yeah, right there. It just wasn't there. You have to live for another play, and Jameis did it, correctly earlier, but right now you see him kind of getting a little antsy. His team's down 10, and he's trying to make a play.
2nd and 13. And an interception! What a pick by the Dallas Cowboys. Saffold in the way of that little post route on the left side, looking for Josh Doctson. And Jameis Winston has thrown his 2nd interception of the day and given the Dallas Cowboys great field position at the 34-yard line.
Gotta know better than that if you're Jameis Winston. You already threw a pick earlier, and now you threw it right to Saffold. 6'2", you didn't see him standing there. 6'2", 246 pounds, one of the most athletic linebackers in the Madden Bomber League, middle linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. You gotta be better than that if you're Jameis Winston.
3 turnovers for the Washington Redskins on 1st and 10. They push it downfield a little bit down to the 15-yard line. It is complete to Chapman, and the Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to really put the knife in the back of the Washington Redskins and get a big victory with a touchdown here. They're going to go up. They would go up at least 3 scores with a touchdown. Yeah, it would be 3 scores. For the math majors out there, that's 17 points. On 1st and 10, he finds Chapman right over the middle field, and he fights forward for a touchdown right on cue. The Dallas Cowboys only need 2 plays to get into the end zone. And boy, if the Washington Redskins don't look out, Bomber, this one could turn into a blowout.
Washington is in trouble. That back-to-back championship opportunity is slowly, that window is closing and closing. I need a big drive from Washington, and I don't just need it right now. I needed it 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. I need it before it can even happen. Washington has to score on this drive, and they got to score quickly.
Elmore taking it out of the end zone. He's going to get it up to the 26-yard line. But Jameis Winston, he's thrown 2 interceptions in this game. They also had that fumble on the exchange between him and Keith Marshall. 3 turnovers for the Washington Redskins offense, and that's a big reason why they're losing right now, is they have been unable to hold on to the ball against this number 5 defense in the NBL. Game's not over yet, folks, though. We got 4:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Winston comes out under center, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and Keith Marshall in the backfield on 1st and 10. It's going to be a hand up to Marshall, and the Dallas Cowboys know that it was Keith Marshall on 1st down. They bring him down for another loss, a 3-yard one this time. It's going to be a 2nd and 13.
Yeah, reporting from the sidelines, the NBL Bleacher Report said Womack was going off the field, doing the throat slit, saying it's over. Man, that's a little quick. This is a 27-year-old kid. You know, you got to give him a little bit of leeway. He's in the big stage. He's already won himself an NBL Super Bowl. He's feeling like his team's got this game in the bag. Winston
dropping back to pass. He shakes off one tackler, and he finds White down the field. What a job there by Jameis Winston. The pocket was closing around him, and he still got to throw off to the fullback White. 22 yards on that play, and a little gleam of light shown from the Washington Redskins offense.
I don't know if it's lack of awareness for Jameis Winston or just pure grit. The pocket was closing behind him. Either he had no clue or he was like, I'm standing in here till the last second and I'm going to get rid of this ball for my team.
1st and 10, Winston dropping back to pass. Looking to push this downfield, and Winston is going to go down. It is an incomplete pass. The arm was moving forward, so it's going to go down as an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10, and while we have a moment here in the 3rd quarter, I want to give a big shout-out to our graphic sponsor, web3ks.com. They do that overlay you see here on NBL Live. If you or anyone you know need graphics done for an affordable price, head over to web3ks.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. 2nd and 10, shotgun formation for Winston. He's going to hand this off to Keith Marshall over the left side. Big hole, first big hole, and Marshall puts it on the ground. It's recovered by one of his offensive linemen. Shade able to get on it, but the turnover bug almost bit the Washington Redskins once again. Keith Marshall, lucky that one was recovered by his own player.
Yeah, if I'm a Washington Redskins fan right now, I'm wondering what's going on. It's usually our defense making these big plays. Tonight it's the Dallas Cowboys.
1st and 10, Winston dropping back to pass. He's going to toss it out to the flat to Jansen again. He's going to get up to the 39-yard line, 6-yard gain on this one. Bomber, what's amazing in this game, no turnovers forced by the Washington Redskins. They've turned the ball over 3 times, but with 2:34 to go, a score here, they're still in this game.
Yeah, score here, they're only down 10. That's easily striking distance for a defense that has been known to create turnovers. They haven't done it yet, so you have to feel it's about to start happening.
2nd and 4, Winston's going to toss it out to the flat. It's Jordan Reed who takes a big hit right at the marker. Let's see what they spot him. They're going to spot him just short of the line to gain. It's going to bring about 3rd and inches for the Washington Redskins. And Bomber, how big is it right now that the Washington Redskins haven't been able to get Keith Marshall going?
It's huge, and you see him going more and more passing as the game's opening up. And that spells danger if you're Washington.
Oh, and Elmore into the game on 3rd down. I don't believe he got it. He did not. 4th and inches. It's 3rd and inches, Bomber. Why is Keith Marshall not in the game taking that carry?
Overthinking it, trying to put in a power back to get it done. He runs into his own blocker, doesn't pick it up, but the field goes up It's good. It's only a 14-point game. You're only down 2 scores right now. There's a quarter and a minute 45 left. We have a lot of time. This is NBL Live. This is broadcast number 117. This is the divisional round of season 25. We have a lot of football left. Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, not out of this one yet. 24-10, Dallas on top. Washington, though, the defense coming up with a little bit of confidence. Apart from that short field off the turnover, they were able to actually get a stop on the Dallas Cowboys on their last long drive. 1st and 10, it's going to be a toss play to Zeke Elliott over the left side. Elliott trying to find some room over there, but the Washington Redskins defense bring him down. Only a 1-yard gain on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, people in the chat wondering what's going on here with this defense of the Washington Redskins. Why haven't they been able to make these stops throughout the game? And I don't think they understand how much pressure the linebackers are being put on the linebackers right now. This is usually a group that's the best in the league that can float around. But with the offensive line of Cowboys shutting down their defensive line, they're having to blitz a lot more, and it's putting them in an awkward situation, a situation they're not normally in.
Zeke Elliott trying to find some room up the middle. Washington with another stop on Elliott. It's going to be a 3rd and 9. And the Washington Redskins, an opportunity. They need this stop here. It'd be huge for them for their chances to stay in this game if they can get off the field here. 3rd and 9, Womack, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, dropping back to pass here on 3rd down. He is looking, the rush is coming, he's looking downfield. And what a catch by Austin Hooper at the 46-yard line. He got absolutely laid out as he caught that ball. And he says, that doesn't matter to me. A big 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys.
Sure-handed Austin Hooper, not a guy that you normally see going down the field like that, but makes a huge play at a critical time in this game.
Womack just throwing that one away. Looks like he was looking for Frost on the left side. Couldn't get anything going over there, so just chucks it out of bounds. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. And once again, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning into NBL Live, broadcast number 117, as I have recently found out and done the math on. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Bomber. Divisional round action. Again, folks, join us tomorrow night. It's going to be probably around 7 o'clock Eastern time. Hit that subscribe button or follow us on Twitter at Bomber League. We'll be having the doubleheader AFC and NFC championship games in one night. You don't want to miss it. It is a huge show. As Ezekiel Elliott gets a couple yards over the left side. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Bomber, that doubleheader championship game, it is one of our biggest shows of the year. Maybe only eclipsed by our Super Bowl show.
Yeah, okay, so tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have the NFC Championship, and then at 8:30, we're going to have the AFC Championship. It's going to be a great game. One of these teams is going to be in it.
Oh, nice play. Nice play.
Riddle again. That's Riddle. He just made a great tackle in the backfield as well. He's the guy that saved the touchdown before halftime, number 30, Quentin Riddle. This guy's got all kinds of talent. He can stop you in the run game. He can play pass coverage, and he can come out of nowhere and make a big boom hit. And he's done all 3 of those this game.
And Washington manages to get a stop, get the ball back here with 11 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. As Dallas is going to be forced to punt this one away. This one is a good one, but it looks like it's going to get just into the end zone. And Washington's going to take over on the 20-yard line. So again, folks, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time will be the first game. 8:30 or so will be the second game. AFC and NFC championship games. And then Saturday night, we will be having our Super Bowl special for season 25, last one of Madden 17. It's going to be a great week. And then we have that team selection show. So hit that subscribe button so you know when we're live and you don't want to miss any of these programs. Winston dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. It looks like they were running that PA max protect, 2 streak routes down each side of the field. And Winston, well, he took a little too much time in the pocket, and the blitz eventually got there. It's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, there we go. That's their bread and butter play when they get down and they're looking to make a quick comeback and get a quick score. I tell you what Washington was thinking with that play. If we can get a score before the 3rd quarter, we go into the second half, only down 7. That was their big play to do it against cover 3. That's what they like to see. They just didn't.
Oh, he's got a man down the right side. It's Dingle, and he's got a lot of room. Is Darby going to catch him? No, Brian Dingle. Welcome to the big stages, folks. This game ain't over yet. Washington with a huge touchdown to cut it to 1 score.
Back-to-back deep shots from the quarterback, Jameis Winston. He didn't get the other one off, but they were looking to go deep. They do it again, and now they score. And
they do score before the end of the 3rd quarter.
They scored before the end of the 3rd. They're down 7 going into the 4th. They've got to be feeling good. Momentum is starting to change. That pendulum is starting to swing the other direction. We have ourselves a ball game on broadcast number 117.
Oh, it's 24-17. Dallas on top of Washington with the huge touchdown, 10 unanswered points. This is a 24-7 game, but Washington has cut this back to 1 touchdown, and now it's back to their their defense. Bomber, this defense has had success. They've gotten stops on 2 of the last 3 drives.
Yeah, so now it's time to see if Dallas has the poise and the mind power, the understanding of the situation that, we don't need everything to happen right now. Let's take what's given. And they start off with a screenplay drop for Ezekiel Elliott. Wow, that could
You don't see that too often.
You definitely don't. 2nd and 10 for Dallas right here. It'd be a shame if they 3-and-out real quickly and give that ball back to Washington, who's been so hot on offense.
24-17, Dallas on top of Washington. That momentum swinging a little bit towards the Redskins, looking to get a chance to face off against the Detroit Lions once again in the NFC Championship game, a rematch of last year if that were to happen. Dallas looking to play a little bit of spoiler and prove that they are here to stay. 2nd and 10. Womack dropping back to pass. He's looking deep over the middle of the field for Austin Hooper, who makes another catch.
Wow,
he takes a big hit from Riddle and hangs on to it. Austin Hooper, what a game this young fella is having.
The kid is balling right now, having his best performance when they need it the most. How many big catches is that? 1, 2, now 3 amazing catches that puts him past midfield. What a game for this tight end, Austin Hooper.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Womack. He's going to hand it off to Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott has a lot of room. Oh, no, I don't know if anybody's going to be catching Zeke Elliott. He could go fighting off the tackler, and he is in for a touchdown. The Dallas Cowboys answer right back and get a big score, and who else would come up with the big touchdown than Ezekiel Elliott?
That's an unfortunate defensive play call for the Washington Redskins. They tried to get aggressive. I think they were thinking maybe a run up the middle or a play action pass. They were hoping to get there, but they just go with a little stretch arc, give it off to Ezekiel Elliott, and he houses the run. Now they're up 31-17, kind of weathered the storm a little bit, so that score before the 3rd quarter means a little bit less.
Wow, 5:21 to go here in the 4th quarter. Dallas has just extended their lead back to 2 scores with this Washington Redskins team. Proved on the last drive they can score in a hurry, so this game is not over yet, folks. If you're just joining us for the first time, NBL rules state you cannot kill the clock until under 2 minutes, so there is plenty of time for the Washington Redskins to get back in this game. 1st and 10, Keith Marshall in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. It's going to be a play-action pass. Winston's just going to dump this underneath Jordan Reed, and he's got a lot of space over there. A nice pursuit there by Saffold, able to push him out of bounds, but it's a 1st down for the Washington Redskins.
Nice throw, nice patience right there. Washington coming back. Jameis Winston has not been in this position much in his NBL career through this cycle, so let's see if he's got the poise and the leadership to take his team down the field.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Jameis Winston once again. He's got Keith Marshall in the backfield, 1st and 10. Ball on the 36-yard line. It's me, Winston, dropping back to pass again here on 1st down. Looking. He's going to take a sack there. Jameis Winston, he's a veteran at this point. He's got to know at this point in the game, when you're down 14, you cannot sit in the pocket that long and take a sack.
Yeah, so his eternal clock has to be going off. It's got to be going off by now.
It came right up the middle. He was staring at the blitz.
It's like he doesn't see it. Like I said, the question about him has always been awareness. How good is he in the pocket? How aware is he in the pocket? And that's always been his downfall.
Dingle in the flat catches this one. A little bit of the Dallas Cowboys offense showing here as Washington gives them a taste of their own medicine. Nice gain there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5, getting a big chunk of that loss on the sack. 12 yards for Brian Dingle. What a game this fella's having. Draft pick from last season.
Yeah, he made a big catch earlier, took it to the house. Made some big plays. You can't press up on him. He's a big wide receiver. He's strong. He's physical. So, he's got all the tools. 3rd and 5 for Washington here. Let's see what they do.
Got to think 4-down territory at this point for the Redskins. Winston dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 5. He finds Jordan Reed right over the middle of the field. Catches that right on the star. And he's able to get up to the 41-yard line. And now Washington Redskins moving into hurry-up offense, trying to get a score quickly. It's going to be Winston the shotgun, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Play action pass. Winston's going to be dropping back to pass. Blitz right up the middle. He gets it off somehow to Jordan Reed, who is clearly gassed on this one, but gets out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Jameis Winston, he took a bludgeoning on that play, but still completed the pass.
Okay, a couple questions I have right now. Jameis Winston obviously hung in the pocket and made the right read, but Jordan Reed, is there a hamstring issue?
Boy, he looked like he pulled up on that one.
Yeah, he looked like he pulled up completely. Usually we see a Jordan Reed hurdle at that point of the play. We see a lot more explosion. He looks limping. He looks a little hurt right now.
Winston dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. Looking. To throw it over to the right side. Jansen wide open on a little curl route. He's going to get down to the 17-yard line. This looks like a completely different Washington Redskins offense in the 2nd half.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy, Jansen. Jansen's like the Wes Welker of this Washington Redskins offense. It just seems like he's hitch route, drags. He's sitting in the middle of the field. He's doing everything. He's got sure hands, and he's got the speed, athleticism, and agility to get open against zone, especially in those holes.
1st and 10, shotgun formation for Jameis Winston. Play action pass. Oh, wow, what a job by the Dallas Cowboys defensive line, getting a hand up and batting that one down as he had a man that looked like Chapman wide open in the end zone. Instead, it's an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, there might have been 2 or 3 guys wide open right there for Washington. So that's definitely, if you're a Washington fan right now, you're a little upset. You had an opportunity there. You just had to loft the ball over the line. He tries to bullet it in there, and they get a hand on it. So great job by the defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Winston dropping back to pass here on 2nd and 10. Lots of time in the pocket. This offensive line doing a great job for Jameis Winston. He's running out to the left side, and he's just going to hurt. Wow, he rifled that one out of bounds. Made sure nobody was going to intercept that ball. Now a big 3rd and 10 for the Washington Redskins. 3:10 to go. 4 down territory. Looking to get a chance to go to the NFC Championship.
3-man rush. We're seeing a lot of 3-man rushes, dropping defenders back for the Dallas Cowboys. They're definitely playing that bend, don't break football right now. And how can you blame them? They're up 14. There's 3 minutes left. The winner of this goes on to the NFC Championship game.
3rd and 10. Winston under center. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers dropping back to pass. Blitz coming. He tosses it over to who else but Jordan Reed. Does not get the 1st down, but he does get 6 yards at the 11-yard line. And now 4th and 4 for the Washington Redskins. Bomber, is there any thought of giving the ball to Keith Marshall here?
I haven't seen him much. I mean, you haven't seen Keith Marshall on 3rd downs. They've been going to Matt Jones.
Elmore's in the game
now.
Wow. 4th and 4, Winston dropping back to pass. He's going to hit Josh Doctson on the slant route. The Dallas Cowboys brought the man blitz, and Jameis Winston threw it to his #1 target, Josh Doctson, who has not been around a whole lot this game, haven't gotten to call his name out. 1st and goal, it's a handoff to Elmore, trying to find something over the left side. Young fella, you got to keep going to the sideline. He had all sorts of room over there. He's going to get up to the 1-yard line, 2:25 and counting. Washington looking to punch it in.
Where is Keith Marshall? This is the leader of this offense of the ground and pound. He's done it all year. This is a guy that's put in over 1,000 yards.
Oh, there he is.
He had nearly 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns. We need to see a little bit more Keith Marshall right now.
And it's a toss play to Keith Marshall. And Keith Marshall, the blocking fell apart on the outside. And the Washington Redskins, with 2 run plays inside the 20-yard line, they're going to take this all the way down to the 2-minute warning. I get they have 3 timeouts here, but surprising they didn't look like they had any sort of urgency there.
Yeah, pace. It's all about pace. When you got Jameis Winston under center, he hasn't really been in this situation. The Washington is not getting the pace that they would get from a veteran quarterback that has this kind of experience in these kind of big games.
Winston under center, 3rd and goal. He's going to hand it to Keith Marshall, who makes a man miss, but can't get to the end zone. Just reach the ball over, Keith. Just stick your hands forward. You have a touchdown. It's now 4th and goal. Clock is running. Washington needs a touchdown. Boy, this is the ball game, folks. Here, look at them walking up to the line. 1:43 to go. I formation. 2 tight ends on the left side of the formation for Jameis Winston. He's going to hand it to Keith Marshall. Shakes off a tackler, but can't get past the other 2.
What is going on?
Wow, Keith Marshall, I think we have a nominee for MIA in this game from the Bleacher Report. They were on the 1-yard line and couldn't get it in the end zone.
4 running plays from the Washington Redskins, a top running team in the Madden Bomber League. Last year, they were #1. This year, I think they were around, I don't know where they at. Let's check the stats on that real quick. #3, and they can't get in. Is that how good this Dallas defense is against the run? Just incredible. Incredible desire to win for this Dallas Cowboys team.
1st and 10, handoff to Ezekiel Elliott. Washington going to use one of their timeouts. They have 2 left.
So the back-to-back is over.
Wow. Keith Marshall, where has he been all game? Bomber, do you put the blame on Marshall, or is this Washington offensive line did not do a very good job in the running game?
I feel like there's some kind of injuries going on here. Marshall did not play the amount of snaps he normally plays in the playoffs. They took him out for Elmore. They took him out for Matt Jones. We saw a lot of substitution from Marshall that really didn't make sense to me. But barring any kind of miracle, which there could be a miracle here.
You never know. Ezekiel Elliott toss play on 2nd down. Washington's going to use another timeout. Ball still on the 2-yard line, so Dallas got to be careful not to trip over themselves in their own end zone, get a holding penalty back there, and give up a safety. Dallas up 31-17 over the defending Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. Winner gets to face the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game again, folks, tomorrow night. Doubleheader action. both championship games starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time here on the NBL Network. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have some great games going on. 4th down, Washington used their last time out. They're going to get the ball back. We've seen crazy things happen here on NBL Live.
We absolutely have. And they're going to have somewhat decent field position where they could score quickly. We saw them score earlier on a goal route, and they went to the house, and they scored very fast before the end of the third. We could see some kind of play similar to that again.
They almost got a lot of room over there.
They got a lot of
He's up to the 25. He's to the 20, and one man to beat. The punter able to bring him down. But he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. If Washington needed something, there was that big return. This game is not quite over, folks.
Not just yet. Washington Redskins, always some tricks up their sleeves, and they always are a couple big plays guaranteed to them throughout the game. We haven't seen it this year, this game yet, but, man, it could happen right now, a minute left.
1st and 10, Winston looking over to the left side. It's intercepted! He was looking for Keith Marshall, and that's going to do it, folks. Boy, Bomber, I'm not on the Bleacher Report team, but Bleacher Report on the Twitter always puts out their MIA, the player that was missing in action from the game. Yeah. Who would you give it to in this one? Is it Keith Marshall or Jameis Winston? 3 interceptions and a fumble. Those turnovers are what did the Washington Redskins in.
Yeah, I don't, like I said earlier, Jameis Winston played all the snaps he was supposed to play. Keith Marshall was getting substituted out. I don't know if he has a lingering injury. He was a go in practice, but you know they don't like to put all those things out. Maybe he had some kind of hamstring, some kind of leg issue. I don't know. I'm speculating here, but he did not look the same. He did not have the same explosion. The same thing with Jordan Reed as well. But Jameis Winston, what are you doing? I mean, the pace that you had earlier, OSU, you brought that up, and now just an errant throw, an opportunity on a nice punt return to make something happen. He goes with the wheel route to the halfback and kind of lofts it up there, and Anthony Brown makes a pick. So I'd go with Jameis Winston.
A delay of game taken by the Dallas Cowboys. Somebody looking up at you've got that giant scoreboard here at AT&T Stadium. It's got a clock on it. Just look up, guys. You can see the play clock. That's going to actually stop the clock here. Doesn't really matter. Bomber, let's take a moment. The Washington Redskins not going to be able to defend their Super Bowl title, but what a season these guys had. And this is one of those teams that, if we had another season in this Madden cycle, they would probably be one of the favorites for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. But, man, are you a little disappointed with this Washington performance today? Just not as sharp as they normally are. And
the word I'd go with is laid an egg.
Yeah, they definitely laid an egg. And Dallas kind of owned them. Maybe this was just a really bad matchup because if you look at it this year, Dallas is 2-0-1 versus the Washington Redskins. They've got the best of them in the last 3 games. They tied once. They took home 2 victories. And this one was obviously arguably the most important one as it now allows them to advance to the NBL NFC Championship game. It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys, the number 2 seed, taking on the number 1 seed Detroit Lions in Detroit. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, and let's take a look forward before we have our NBL Live Player of the Game. The Dallas Cowboys, what a game they had here, defeating the defending Super Bowl champions, and now they get to face off against your Detroit Lions. Bomber, tell me what you're looking forward to in that game.
I'm looking forward to see if he wastes his time spending some XP on these guys right now. But honestly,
don't look at that one.
Lions, what I'm looking in that game, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, these are teams that aren't really similar styles. You got a passing attack with Detroit. You have a ground and pound defensive game with the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit Lions aren't going to have Eric Ebron, possibly a return of wide receiver Gilbert DeGear, but they're also missing Miles Killebrew, who's injured. Timmy Hauser, outside linebacker, that's hurt. A lot of injuries on the Detroit side of the ball. No excuses in Detroit, though. So I think it's going to be a really good game, and I'm excited to have it on NBL Live, and I think it's going to be something that everybody watching is going to enjoy.
And now it's time to make our selection for the NBL Live Player of the Game for broadcast number 117. Bomber,
That's
a tough one.
I like Austin Hooper. I don't know if he did enough.
I think Austin, well, here's the thing. I was thinking Ezekiel Elliott, he scored that really the ceiling touchdown, that big long one, but Austin Hooper had 3 catches in this game that were crucial to the Dallas Cowboys continuing their drive. I'd have to give it to Austin Hooper.
Austin Hooper it is. I'm with that as well. I think he had a great game. I think he made some great plays, and he definitely played above himself, and that's what you need. In a playoff run where you're trying to go to the Super Bowl, you need guys like Austin Hooper stepping up against the defending Super Bowl champs and knocking them out, single-handedly making catches that just are head-scratchers. If you're on the other opposing side, you're going, where's this guy come from? Where did his hands come from? And there you have it.
Wow.
Austin Hooper it is.
Austin Hooper, your NBL Live Player of the Game selection for broadcast number 117. And once again, you can check out all of our Player of the Game selections on our website, 365.maddenbombingleague.com under the NBL Live tab. And while you're there, under the Join tab, go ahead and click on the EA Access Tournament link and apply. Spots are filling up fast. First prize, that Antonio Brown signed jersey and a copy of Madden 18 GOAT Edition. It is free to enter. Go over and apply. Spots are filling up fast. We're going to be filling out that tournament. Last acceptance is going out next week, so don't miss out on that one. And hit that subscribe button so you know when we're going live tomorrow night. Bomber AFC and NFC Championship games. I believe they are both set. On the NFC side, of course, it's going to be your Detroit Lions against the Dallas Cowboys, two premier franchises in the NBL. And on the AFC side, I believe it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a battle that's going to be.
Yeah, the Final Four is going to be a great Final Four for the NBL, our final season in the Madden 17 cycle. Before we move on to Madden 18, both of those championship games are going to be tomorrow. Super Bowl on Saturday, team selection on Sunday. August 17th, we got the tournament. Subscribe to the channel. You're definitely going to get some action that you're going to like, especially if you're a lover of Madden football and entertaining commentary with OSU. I mean, he's always got the hat slicked back, looking fresh to death. You can't beat that, right? You can't beat that kind of entertainment.
La Chapa on the commentary. Looking good. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Again, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time is when the doubleheader is going to kick off. AFC and NFC Championship games. Don't miss it. For my co-host, Bomber, I'm OSU. Your final score, once again, the Dallas Cowboys, a big win, 31-17. We'll see you tomorrow night for Conference Championship Weekend here on NBL Live.